Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Sin here and I'm very proud of my new eBay acquisition. This is the HPI Nitro MT2 G3.0. Kind of a mouthful, right? This truck has been discontinued for some time and this is an upgraded version of the original HPI Nitro MT. After looking up some resources online, the original MT came out in somewhere around the late 90s, 1997. So this has had quite some time to evolve, and currently today, this is similar to the HPI Nitro Bullet, which is not a very successful truck, I gotta say. But at the time when this thing was new, I remember these things were really popular, they were cool, and they were extremely fast. So let's take a minute to kind of go over some of the chassis details, remove this really destroyed body. But I'll tell you this, don't have your expectations kind of too high. I only paid $75 for this, and I actually wound up paying a little bit less because I had a 20% eBay coupon. Obviously, there was some shipping charges, but considering the coupon, I still basically paid about $75 for this all in. And it seems to be in really good shape. So let's take a look under the body, see what we got going. The chassis itself is fairly simple. It is a basic four-wheel drive, shaft drive stadium truck platform. Back in the late 90s, this was pretty much in a league of its own. I don't think there was a competitor from Traxxas at the time. Traxxas made a lot of two-wheel drive trucks, particularly the Stampede, the Nitro Sport, and the Rustler. But I don't think they had a full-time four-wheel drive, shaft-driven stadium truck like this. So this was actually fairly unique at that time. And over the years, it's had a lot of time to evolve and become what we have here today. Now, the only main drawback I see here, even though this was kind of produced around the time that the HPI Baja 5B came out, so in the mid-2000s, I would assume, maybe a couple of years after that, maybe 2008, 2009, is the fact that it has the AM radio. Yeah, AM radio system, guys. I know, this is a disaster. At least they could have thrown in an FM, but you know what? The radio was included, and you know what? It works. Give me a few minutes here. We're going to turn it on, test it out. Let's just go over some more of the chassis details. This particular one is really stock. I mean, I don't see any upgrades here at all. This HPI G3.0 engine might be the best all-around engine they've put on this 10th scale stadium truck platform. The reason I say that is because it is a .18, and according to the HPI website, it does make 2.2 horsepower, which actually is a lot. I remember back in these days when you had the HPI 15 FE, those were under 1 horsepower, so 2.2 is a lot. I really wish I could have seen a 2-speed transmission in here, but this is only a single gear transmission. But you know what? That makes it really easy to work on, easier to drive, and relatively easy to tune. These later versions, what HPI did was upgrade the exhaust system. So you have a pretty cool exhaust header here, and you have a metal exhaust. This earlier version, the HPI MT2, had a plastic tuned pipe, as can be seen here on their vintage HPI website portion. Okay, it's on. So the throttle servo works, right? You could see that. The brakes are active. The steering servo is horrible, but you know what? I expected that. The seller did make a note in the listings to say that the servo was bad, but the servos are just so cheap today. You can get a really good Metal Gear servo for under $10. I'm not really worried about that. What I really love about this, and let me show it to you guys. Look at that suspension. Do you see how smooth and plush this is? I'm quite sure that the shocks do need new shock oil, and it might not even be full, but you know what? This hasn't been driven in a long time, and the suspension is plush, it's smooth. Look at that. I mean, I really like it. It's just so soft, I remember back in these days, the HPI were really known for the quality of their shocks, and I really like that they have aluminum shock caps, something that Traxxas could kind of look at and at least put it on their VXL trucks today, which they don't. I always like the size of these. These have always been kind of the perfect size, not too big, not too small. It's exactly what you expect from a 10th scale truck of the time. Of course, this is not a monster truck. This is just really a copy of the RS4 in terms of the chassis layout. It just has longer suspension arms, and obviously all the related hardware is larger. After looking over the chassis itself, it seems that this one could use a couple new wheels. I don't know really what happened to the wheel here, but you could see that it basically just kind of either ballooned so much that it, just came out. But the foam inside seems to be fine. The tire itself is glued okay. I'm not really worried about the wheels. I have so many spare wheels, and the prices for these are just so cheap that really isn't a big deal. But I gotta say, I am surprised that the factory rubber compound is just so soft. A lot of these current Chinese cars on the market have extremely hard wheels, but these wheels, man, these are just some really soft rubber tires. Not bad, right? If I could reuse them, I would. Probably just need a set for the rear. They seem to be kind of messed up as I turn it. You can see it's completely crooked, the wheel itself. So what are my plans for this chassis? As of now, it's basically just going to be restoration, and in the upcoming video, I will make sure to get it started and get it running. I have no doubt that the engine is in okay condition. I looked inside the car, it's fairly clean in there, and it wasn't even rusty. With today's common purchases of these Chinese WL toys and such RCs, they all typically have similar problems, and that is steering slop. Now, let me kind of show you the steering slop in this RC. Almost none. So as I move this wheel side to side, look at that. It barely moves. It is just so solid. And you know what? This car has the stock standard molded links. These are not even the adjustable links, and the suspension and steering is just so good. So this just really goes to show you what a brand name back in, let's say the late 90s, early 2000s, how good their RCs were. This is when I started my own journey in the RCs, and really that's what captivated me, was the precision and the engineering of one of these Nitro RCs. Well, there it is, guys. I gave you a quick overview of my new eBay acquisition. I've been getting a lot of these, but you know what? These generally never go down in price based on what I pay. These are in fact becoming relatively collectible soon. Maybe not this particular model, but the electric RS4 MT. If you look them up on eBay, they go for, in the hundreds of dollars. So there's a lot of money still left to be had here. That's not really what I'm in this for. I kind of appreciate the chassis itself and the history and the background, because when I was growing up, these were kind of hard to come by, and just to scrap enough money when I was a kid was really hard to get more than one. So today, if I'm able to spend under $100 on one of these kind of cool RCs, I'll do it. Eventually, I'll probably sell them on and make sure that someone else enjoys them. But there it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2 of this, where I'm going to tear down the engine. We're going to take a look inside, and then we're going to start it up and give it a go outside. Thanks.